Hey guys, Navi here. This is going to be a quick little build guide video of sorts. I'm going to show you how to get a summoner build online and ready to blast through the campaign. And to start, I'm just completing my ascension, my first Sekimas. I'm a little bit over leveled for this, so, you know, damage maybe not quite that impressive on level, but pretty good. So with this build, you're going to be running some skeletal arsonists, warriors, and raging spirits. I'll talk about those in just a second. I am going to go ahead and choose to level as Infernalist, and I'm going to be going for this nerfed version of the Hellhound, and we will see why. So let's take a look at the skills first. So I just received Summon Infernal Hellhound. I'm going to support that with Fire Exposure and Strip Away. So the Hellhound ignites enemies around him, and this is going to give them Fire Exposure, which lowers their fire resist, and then Strip Away does that even more. That's going to really buff the damage of my Summon Raging Spirits. So the Raging Spirits convert their physical damage into fire damage, and so lowering enemies' fire resist is going to be buffing the damage that's coming from your Raging Spirits. I'm also running some Skeletal Warriors from my Scepter. These are basically just my front line to tank some monsters, and then I've got some Arsonists here. These guys are like lobbing, it's like fire grenades. I've got that supported with Scattershot, Martial Tempo, and Heft. The Skeletal Warriors supported with Meat Shield and Last Gasp, like I said, your front line. And then the Summoning Raging Spirits needs to be supported with Feeding Frenzy, Primal Armament, and Fire Infusion. Now, if you're running this as like a first character, you're not going to have access to some of these support gems right off the bat. You know, just look at the tags on the support gems and run what you can. You primarily want to get damage on your Raging Spirits. You want to be running Fortress in your Flame Wall. That's how you're going to be summoning your Raging Spirits. And Arcane Tempo for a little bit of cast speed makes that feel a little bit better. For your Arsonists, Scattershot I think is basically the best thing you can get, and I think you can get that at tier 1, so definitely run that. And then you'll want to run, you know, attack speed, physical damage, because these things, you know, their attacks are going to scale with physical damage. So I think they do a conversion as well. So yeah, that's what we're going with. And now that I've shown you the skills, let's take a look at the gear that I'm running. This is stuff that I acquired in the Dawn of the Hunt Trade League. We're about a week and a half into the league right now, and all of these items cost me like less than 5 exalts a piece. So if you're working with a relatively small budget, this is all completely fine, and this gear, I believe, is going to last me all the way into maps. So I'm not going to need to get any upgrades between now and then. Maybe a new scepter if I decide I want a new scepter, but yeah. So this is where we're getting our Skeletal Warrior minions, and obviously we just want a bunch of damage on here, but the most important thing is the level to minion skills. So at level 26 you can get +2. That's when I completed my ascension, and I'm just going to be powering through a lot of the campaign right after this, now that my build is sort of like fully online. So you get +2 level minion skills here, and then just some additional damage and tank modifiers. Whatever you get is completely fine. For focus, I'm just running this Carrion Call. I don't know if this is the best, but I had one in my stash and it looked good. So my resistances are pretty high, so that's going to make my minions pretty tanky, and then just extra damage, extra life, a little bit of energy shield, not bad. I'm running a Meganord's Girdle for the strength primarily. First of all, strength is life, and strength is also the attribute that you need to wear some armor-based items, which I don't really have much of. I guess I do a little bit here. So, but anyways, strength gives you a lot of life, and it does satisfy requirements for extra red support gems, which you would potentially be using. So, I find that this is just a really, really nice belt to run. Chest, you can also run this from level 1, in addition to Meganord's Girdle. This 100 spirit chest with some all-res. You lose the mana from your intelligence, but that's it. Pretty insane chest for minion leveling, to be honest. And then gloves, filling out the last unique spot here. I just have a pair of Loctonials. So these are... I just recently put these on. You can just wear like rare gloves from level 1. These just give me some skill speed, which is basically just like some cast speed on my flame wall. So, yeah. I do have this unique ring on. It's just something I had in my stash. I don't think it's that particularly important, although given the fact that I am nerfing my mana in 2 ways, having some extra mana here from my flask and just flat mana is not bad. My other ring is just something I found in my stash, Life and Rarity. I probably could regal this, but I don't want to increase the level requirement on accident. And then the last 2 sort of good items here that you want to be on the lookout for. Amulet, +1 minion skills. I think I bought this for 1 exalt. So this would be a pretty ridiculous item to find on like day 1 or day 2 of a league. Probably day 1 of a league. But pretty nuts amulet for me at level 26. And then here, this item requires level 10. It's life, minion skills, and dual res. So pretty nasty item here as well. So yeah, that's the build. I've got Wanderlust on. You can wear for your boots. There's another option here that you can wear early. What is it called? Luminous Pace. You can wear this from level 1. I put some cold res in there, and you know, cold res is most important on the Act 1 boss, so I wore that through that portion. I also started with this sure-footed sigil instead of minion skill amulet. This is just for extra dodge roll distance, so you can like dodge roll faster through the zones. And then before I got the +1 minion helm, I was wearing In's Mouth, which is just a level 1 requirement, you know, res and some evasion rating. Not bad. So, and a lot of mana regen actually, which is kind of crazy. So that is the setup here for passives. Pretty basic. I mean, exactly what you would expect. You're going through minion nodes, then you're going to some more minion nodes, and now I'm going to some more minion nodes, and after that, I'm going to be going to these minion nodes, and then after that, these minion nodes. So the passive tree is not exactly, I don't know, not exactly that complex, which is fine. There's some nuances to it. Like, I think I'm going to be pathing through some energy shield nodes on my way there. Maybe picking up some here as well. You get some presence here and spirit. That's pretty cool. So there's some interesting stuff to get along the way, but not exactly that insane. So let's see. I did get 2 keys here. Let's just open up some loot here at the end of the video. Mysterious cache. Oh, exalted orb. Very good. Oh, maybe I get more keys. Oh, okay. Rattling scepter. Okay. Alright. Well, this is going to be blasting through the campaign pretty quickly. I may, you know, post another update here when I get to the start of Cruel, showing how you could maybe upgrade out of some of these items. But this setup, I believe, is going to absolutely let me blast through the rest of Act 2 and probably all of Act 3 well into my 40s, close to level 50 if I had to guess. So before I start to feel any weaker. Just make sure that you're leveling up your gems as you go, and if you feel like it, you can invest a 5 link into your Raging Spirits, or you could potentially just corrupt a lot of 3 linked Raging Spirits, hoping to get a +1. And get a 5 link that way without having to spend the money for a greater jewelers. Those are still relatively rare at this point. So, okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you find this information helpful for how to get a summoner character online and ready to go, then hit the like button, hit subscribe. I'll be making an update video to this one when I get to Cruel, and then probably an additional update or 2 once I get into the end game and see how it plays out. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.